know some of you folks watching tonight were here this afternoon. Great crowd of 35,101. And didn't somebody ask Davey if he was crying under those sunglasses?
He said no shot. And he doesn't like to be the center of attention like this, but I mean, he deserved it, and that's where it got touching. And when the players came out and started giving him a hug and had the emotional music on in the background, and just a...
It's never over till it's over. I think somebody said that. And this is what it's all about. This is what it's all worth sweating for.
Sorry about that. Somebody big just died. Davey Johnson, who managed the Mets to a World Series title, is dead at 82 years old. And my friend Mike North is here to help eulogize him. Mike, I'm a little slow to the punch there. How are you, my friend?
You're never slow to the punch. Great job with the highlights, by the way. I mean, because you forget he was a great baseball player, Davey Johnson, a great manager, unsung in the game of baseball. One of my favorite people, was an in-your-face type of guy, didn't always get along with his bosses, was shuttled along because he would be managing a team. And then Marge Schott, for instance, I remember he had gotten divorced and he was he was living with his fiance. She got rid of him in the 70s because he lived with, or in the 80s, because she didn't like people out of that weren't married living together. Are you kidding me? And so she got rid of a great manager in Davey Johnson. Let me tell you about this guy here, because he was a great baseball player. What you saw on TV and what you see when we talk about somebody big just died, you see certain aspects, but you don't even know about the playing career. We'll talk about that in a minute. But we got Cumberland Chapel's funeral home, and I'm sure that Davey, his family made the arrangements and stuff like that. He died at the age of 82, 8300 West Lawrence Avenue in Norridge. Family owned and operated, the Lupos, the Martinos. They've been serving families with dignity and grace for decades. They do affordable for you. They try to slot it where it's right. It's classy. They walk you through everything. It's one of the biggest decisions of your life, one of the more expensive decisions in some circles, but not at Cumberland Chapels. They do the best they can for what you have. Those are the recent services there. So make sure you check out Cumberland Chapels. Check it out at cumberlandchapels.com, anything you need. Then you go to Pennyville Station, ladies and gentlemen. Pennyville Station, one of the all-time great restaurants right now out there in Park Ridge. I've been there since 2018. Tony Antonacci and the crew do a great job over there. Outstanding. They got anything that you need. They got salads. They got steaks. They got prime rib. They got specials. They got great drinks. They got a great crowd there. They got outdoor. You still will. You know, it's pretty nice in September and October.
Gorgeous.
Here in Chicago, so it'll be nice. You got, there's my guy, Tony Antonacci, with my other guy, Jesse Rogers, 112 Main Street in Park Ridge, right across from the railroad station. Check it out at pennyvillestation.com. Check out their happy hours. As you can see that baby scrolling up right there for you. You can't beat it. Go in there at 2 o'clock, leave at 5, got a little glow going to you. Make sure you have a designated driver. You make sure you have kapow! Cauliflower. I love saying it. The filet sliders are out of this world. Yingling, which is one of the big beers now. What a revelation. I never heard of Yingling, and they said it's been around for decades. I go, what did I miss? I drank everything. A hot minute. I mean, I drank everything. How did I miss Yingling? But Yingling is there. It's all good, ladies and gentlemen. Davey Johnson, okay? He was born in Orlando, Florida. I didn't even know there was an Orlando, Florida in 1943, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it really didn't start to perk up till Disney World, if you want to be truthful. But that had to be a boring place because I was there during Disney World. And besides Disney World, it's hard to get a cab. That's all I'm going to tell you. There he is with the Cubs. There he is with the Orioles. He played second base for the Baltimore Orioles. He made his major league debut in 1965 for the Orioles. He played for the Yomiuri Giants for 2 seasons in the Japanese league. His major league play for the Cubs. His last appearance, September 29th. Of course, the Cubs get him when he's on the scrap heap. That's what the Cubs used to do so well, ladies and gentlemen. Known as a manager because he managed the 86 Mets. But let me tell you something about this guy. He was the first guy to introduce, and I don't know if I like him for this or not, analytics into the game. Okay. He was the guy that did analytics back before Billy Bean and all these other goofs do him now that have the pitcher pulled. You know, I heard him bragging about Kate Orton tonight with 5 innings of no-hit ball. Like I'm supposed to be 5 innings, do 4 more. Then come talk to me. Enough. All right?
Sure.
I mean, cut it out. Cut it out. 5 innings of no-hit ball. He won the American League Manager of the Year award in 1997. He led the New York Mets to the 86 World Series title. Look at him. Great player. I mean, really good player. He went wire to wire with the Orioles in 1997. He won the Manager of the Year award for the Washington Nationals. He won the first division title. I mean, this guy, he managed the Reds and the Orioles. Okay, consecutive years. He also briefly managed the Dodgers. He led the United States national team to its first medal finish in the World Baseball Classic, taking 3rd place, which I know he didn't like because the guy was an absolute winner. He made the Orioles team after spring training. He got traded. The White Sox had him, of course, and then we took Jerry Adair from him. So we got screwed on that deal. He reached the World Series with the Orioles as a player, folks. Listen to this. 1966, 69, 70, 71. He won World Series rings in 66 and 70. He won the Gold Glove Award the final 3 seasons. Okay. That means he had Mark Belanger at shortstop and Brooks Robinson at third. You had 3 guys win Gold Gloves in that same time period. Okay. He was replaced by second baseman Bobby Grich, who was a good player. But he needed to get out of there. He didn't want to stay with them. Like I said, he fought. He didn't take any BS. He believed in himself. So he gets traded to the Braves. And all of a sudden, I don't know, this was not the steroid era. You have to believe it was clean. He'd been hitting like 15, 20 homers a year. He hit 42 as soon as he was traded by the Atlanta Braves. Okay? That was 3 guys, Darrell Evans, Hank Aaron, and him, all 3 teammates hitting 40 or more homers in one season in 1973. He played for the Yamamori Giants, Joe's favorite. He's got the poster on the wall in the Central League.
Say it 3 times fast, Mike.
Yeah. 1975 and 1996, he was the first foreign player for them in more than 15 years. He had a lot of pressure to perform. He did okay, but he played injured. They got rid of him after 2 seasons. He returned to the United States and signed as a free agent with the Phillies. He had 321 with 8 homers in 78 games when he signed with them and played 1 game in the Phillies National League Championship Series. Wow. So the guy won awards, won 3 Gold Gloves, played on 4 World Series teams. How many people know that? Not many. That's why he's on Somebody Big Just Died. Not
why
because
you're here.
Great manager, but a good player. Okay. During the 78 season, he had 2 grand slams as a pinch hitter. That's clutch, folks. You're cold off the bench.
Ice in his veins, Mike. Ice in his veins.
Ice water in his veins, Joe. I love it. Ice water in his veins. Okay. So he did that. Then in 1979, he went to the minor leagues to be a manager after quitting baseball. Joe's favorite team, the Miami Amigos. Okay. Yeah. Of the AAA International League. He guided the team to a 70% winning percentage. The league folded 72 games in its only season, having planned to play a 130-game season. That was in the Inter-American League. That was a different type of minor league system. Then, in 1984, he took over the Mets, who had not won a pennant since 73. He became the first National League manager to win at least 90 games in each of his first 5 seasons. And, of course, the highlight of the time with the Mets was winning the 86 World Series. Now, I wish I would have I know I interviewed him back in the day, but I never asked him what was it like to manage the 1986 Mets. Lenny Dykstra, Darryl Strawberry, Dwight Gooden. You know, he'd be in the dugout going, where'd they go? Where's everybody at? I mean, they were lunatics. I mean, I call them the first team to actually win a World Series on drugs. Yeah. When most of the starting lineup was on drugs. I mean, they were, it's established.
He said it was a wild ride, Mike.
That's what he's. Yeah, you know what? I got to read that book, okay? Because I didn't even know Howie Rose and Jim Palmer writing that book. So he was a successful manager. After more than 2 seasons out of baseball, after leaving the Mets finally got rid of him because, once again, he got in an argument and a bitter feud. I wonder if I'm related to this guy with Frank Cashman. I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting for that, Joe. He's the winningest manager in Mets history. 595 wins, 417 losses. Not bad, folks.
Not
That's
at all.
foreign to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that.
After 2 seasons out of baseball, he comes back. 44 games into the 93 seasons with the Reds. As was the case with the Mets, Johnson revived the Reds almost immediately. So, you talk about Billy Martin and other managers that resurrected teams. This guy was another one of those guys, okay? It says here, Reds owner Mark Schott announced Johnson would not return in 96, regardless of how the Reds did. Johnson and Schott never got along. She was a tough nut. She really was. And the relations had deteriorated to the point that he had nearly been fired after the 94 seasons. But Schott would send him notes to him that were addressed to him by her St. Bernard. This is the type of nonsense I had to grow up with. You think the Bear stuff is crazy? Signed by Shotzi. Okay. The final straw came because Schott did not approve of Johnson living with his fiance before they were married. That's why a manager got fired in the 70s. In 1996, Johnson returned to Baltimore as the Orioles manager on a 3-year, $2.25 million deal. Back in 96, that's okay money.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good money. Can't complain. The team won 86 and 74, finishing 4 games behind the New York Yankees, but it was good enough for the wild card by 3 games. It was the Orioles' first trip to the postseason since winning the 83 World Series. So once again, Cincinnati, the Mets, the guy just keeps winning. That's all he keeps doing. Then he went 97, 98, and 64 to finish with the best record in the American League while retaining the key core from before. The Orioles won the series in 4 games as they routed the Mariners with 23 runs for allowing just 11 hits. They met the Cleveland Indians in the championship series, would upset the Mets. The Orioles lost in 6 games. But this guy, wherever he went, he won. Now, after he's done with the Orioles, where he had a 574 winning percentage, okay, almost 60%. Hi, I'm Davey Johnson. You want to win 55, 60, 65% of your games? Come on.
Ridiculous.
He hired with the Toronto Blue Jays, or he interviewed with them, but he wasn't hired. 2 years later, here he comes again with the Dodgers, all right, who had won 88 games the previous year. On May 30, he won his 1,000th game as manager. He did so in his 1,740th game. So he won 1,000 games and lost 740 games. He suffered the only losing season of his managerial career, finishing in 3rd place, 8 games under 500. He also managed international ball. There he is with the Dodgers. I mean, the guy modeled some uniforms, and he was successful at probably everyone except that one there. Yeah. Then, okay, we've had enough of you. We'll see you later. Okay? Take care of yourself. He served as a bench coach for the U.S. in the 2006 World Baseball Classic. He also guided them to a bronze medal. And then all of a sudden, here come the Washington Nationals. All right? The Washington Nationals, he joins the Nationals front office where he was a consultant. But I remember at the time, I go, Davey Johnson is a consultant. Something's going to happen here. All right? He was named a senior advisor to Mike Rizzo, who was just fired recently from Chicago's South Side. Jim Riggleman, a friend of mine from back in the day with the Cubs, became their manager, but he resigned after some controversy. Davey Johnson took over, and he would be their manager for the 2012 season. He was named Manager of the Year in 2013 after leading them to a World Series. This is the way this guy was.
Just bonkers, dude.
Every team, this guy did something except the Dodgers. Okay? They struggled in 2013, but you know what? Just 15 managers have finished with a record of 300 or more wins above 500. 15 in 100 some years of baseball, 120 years of baseball. He's one of them. Out of all the managers, he is one of them. His managerial career record, the 84 Mets, 90 and 72. 85, 98 and 64. World Series year, 108 and 54. 87, 92 and 70. 88, 160. 89, 87 and 75.
Goodness.
In 90, 20 and 22, then I guess he was launched. I don't know. He won 595 games with them and lost 417. He went on to success with Baltimore, 88 and 74 for 1 year, 98 and 64 for another year. The Dodgers, 77, 85, and 86 and 74 back in 99 and 2000. Washington, 98 and 64 in 2012 for a World Series. He was a pioneer in sabermetrics, which I don't like him for. As a manager, Johnson integrated data-driven strategies such as emphasizing an on-base percentage. See, he's the cause of all this crap. They used to They just used to list the batting averages, you know, the RBIs. Look at my guy. The RBIs and the homers. All right. He was born in Orlando. He graduated from Alamo Heights High School. He attended Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, as well as Texas A&M. Smart guy. First marriage to Mary Nan, ended in divorce. They had 3 kids, David, Dawn, and Andrea. Met his second wife, Susan. They married the following January while he was organizing a golf tournament. Yeah, I bet he was. But it was for her deaf son, blind son, Jake, and his learning center. So both Davey and Susan had been married once prior, and both had dealt with health issues of offspring, an issue of which they bonded. So he had a wonderful marriage with her. He co-wrote the book Bats, a diary. In 2018, Davey Johnson, along with Eric Sherman, wrote his autobiography, My Wild Ride in Baseball and Beyond, and I believe it. I believe it. In 2021, Davey was treated in the hospital for COVID, okay? And in 2025, he died on September 5th. So he was 82 years old, and there was a night they tell stories about Davey Johnson, but he was a guy that wouldn't take any BS from anybody. I enjoyed his managerial career. I enjoyed his playing career. That's one of the advantages of being going to be 73. In fact, I turned
Happy birthday, Mike.
Thank you, buddy. And I got to see this stuff. That's why when I talk about it and I look at the highlights, I remember Davey Johnson winning 3 Gold Gloves. I remember him hitting 40 home runs for Atlanta. I remember him being an excellent manager. He was an ambassador to the game. Everywhere he went, he won. He was probably the more cooperative Billy Martin type. Okay, although him and Billy Martin both got launched by bosses, because it's not hard for me to believe. I have a certain way of doing things, and if you have sometimes people that don't want to do the same thing, you either bite your lip or you move on. Period. End of story. And Davey Johnson wasn't one of those guys younger in his days that bit his lip, but yet he was hired every 2 years or every 3 years. So
that's right.
We want to give our condolences to the family of Davey Johnson and to his family, his wife, and everybody here. The guy born January 30th, 1943, September 5th, 2025. Anything you caught from this, Joe, from Davey Johnson? I know you heard of him too, but like a lot of other, you were here to see some of his stuff, you know?
Yeah, I always knew him as a manager. That's kind of what was refreshing doing this show, as I got to go back and see how damn good of a player he was.
Yeah.
Really rare to see someone that excels in both player and manager. It's a rarity. So
yeah, you're right about that.
Seeing that. And then one other random fact: he passed away on the same day as Ken Dryden, who we just did a show on. So two legends lost on the same day.
Yeah, and I hope everybody enjoyed the Ken Dryden show. Don't forget, we got the Armani Somebody big just died, Giorgio Armani up there.
That's right.
We got check out the bar room for all the shows because it's bear season right now, as you can tell. I got a headache already, for God's sake. But on behalf of Cumberland Chapels, on behalf of Joe Mandel, on behalf of Pennyville Station, this is Mike North. Thank you for tuning in. 2 big shows coming up. We have Ken Dryden up there now. This one will be out, and we hope you enjoy it. Good night, everybody.